I really wanna make it, yeah, I'm dreaming. Yeah, I'm dreaming. Drink the crown until I'm leaning.
Welcome to episode 4 of the Spark the Air podcast. I'm your host, Tehran, joined by Jade, Bess, and Luke. We are currently in a Skype call because of social distancing and quarantining, but we are still trying to give you, uh, you know, content as best as we can while not putting ourselves or anybody else at risk. So, um, I turn to you all. How has everybody been doing during these trying times? Is anybody an essential worker? Huh?
I am. How you
Yeah.
doing? Hey,
Yeah, such a good shit.
One
Where
more
do you
time.
guys work?
I ain't gonna put where I work at, but yeah, I've been working in the warehouse.
I work at a rec center, so I do the food distribution and stuff, and I work for Instacart, so I just be driving around delivering food.
That's that's helpful, especially the rec center part.
Hmm.
Shout
Yeah,
out to you guys. Appreciate our essential workers.
Hope you guys are doing your best to keep as clean as possible.
yeah, of course, because can't get the Rona, can't do it.
I've
Hey,
mostly uh been in the house. I only leave if I have to like go and grab like food to get through like the next like 2 3 days or whatever. Um, I try not to shop in bulk for the most part. But yeah, I do a little homework, play little video games. I'm gonna put do a little homework in quotes because I think about my homework. I don't really do it.
I got a question
Um,
for you. I got a question for
yeah.
you. How has it been with learning, like as far as like learning online and taking classes online, especially being in high school
Um,
the senior year?
well, school was already pretty much online for me for the most part anyway. For the last couple years, like teachers have been progressively getting more and more until into the classwork is online. So the teacher would be in front of me, but all my assignments and stuff would be on a computer anyway. So I've kind of already been sort of used to this. Like I haven't done a paper assignment in years. It doesn't feel like across all my classes, everything was on paper. I haven't done that in a while. So, and I kind of already learned best on my own anyway, and just doing things by hand. Like I'm not an auditory or visual learner like that well. I'm more of a practical type learner anyway. So reading things like right there in front of me and then typing it out sticks with me. Um, whatever. Like it, I don't know. I'm just lazy, and because there isn't an actual structure, I'm staying up until 5 in the morning, sleeping until 3 in the afternoon. Then when I wake up, I'm not thinking about homework because it's 3 in the afternoon, and my whole day is gone already. So I have to kind of like force myself to try to be in bed by 11, so that way I can at least sleep until 9, 10, 11, and then I wake up and I'll actually want to work between 12 and 4, and then spend the rest of the day playing video games or
Uh,
whatever it is to do.
so with so like the schoolwork, did it send it to you and then you just do it when you can, like when you want
Yeah,
to?
yeah.
Or
RCSD is a mess. I'm saying that publicly. I'm not gonna strike that or anything. Like RCSD has been a mess the last couple of years, and this year has really been a bad year for them. Or that's not even like a subjective uh, like side or like criticism of it. That's like objectively like they have been a mess in how they've
That's the
handled.
truth, yeah.
Yeah. They were telling teachers this entire time, you can't grade work, and then they just sent out a message yesterday or 2 days ago, on I think the fifteenth or the 16th, saying okay, any work that you've given out since the 13th counts as extra credit, and whatever the kid's grade was before the 13th is their baseline score, and you just add any work they've done as like if it's a good grade, you have to put it in as an extra credit boost. If it wasn't good, don't count it. If it lowers their grade, don't count it. If they didn't do it, don't count it. And
Um,
yeah, that,
I
that's
don't know
still
if I would like that or not like that.
yeah. So basically, if you had an F and you didn't do any work, you have an F. If you had
Yeah,
an
that's
F,
what I'm
you did
saying. If you
some of the
decided to just take this
work.
whole quarantine to not do your work yet, you didn't do your
Yeah.
work and you failed it unless you're going to do it and get extra credit for it.
And the only thing positive, like another positive that comes out of that is they're keeping, so like the marking period ends today, the 17th, but they're giving until the 23rd. Yeah, the 23rd or the 22nd for all of the work to completely be in, whatever teachers are accepting as this is my cutoff of work for marking period 3. Um,
That's going to be
yeah.
weird too.
So yeah, so that way it gives teachers more time to grade. So maybe teachers are just taking the assignments and then they would maybe score it, but they couldn't do anything with it. That's giving teachers time to catch up, like give students a little extra push because now it's like, okay, you know what? I've been sitting at a D for the last month and nothing was counting, and now everything can only help me if I do it. So it's a little bit more of an incentive. Like if you got a 60 on it, they just won't count it at all. You did it and you learned something from it, or maybe you didn't, but they're not going to put it in there because it's going to harm you and you haven't been in school. But whatever you got a hundreds on, boom, those are free 100s that are just going to bring your grade up. So it's like it's a double-edged sword, and
Yeah.
I really did not want school to close, but people weren't, but like we didn't have a healthcare system in place to combat Corona right away before it even had a chance.
Yeah, because our healthcare system dismantled at this point.
No, it's because our president was slowly but surely
Yeah,
chipping
because
it.
he took away what we had before, like, because he didn't agree with it, and then right afterwards we have an
Oh
outbreak
yeah.
all over the country.
I've been hearing because me and my dad will watch the news and stuff together. Um, Obama's administration, uh, like, were doing reports of they were saying, yo, in the next couple years, a global pandemic is going to hit. Here's how we
Hmm.
can prepare and counter it. Like we've known this since 2017, I want to say, like early
Hmm.
2017, late 2016.
That something was coming. Yeah, even if they didn't
Yeah.
know what it was.
So, and every year, Trump went reduce spending on healthcare, reduce blah blah blah. Like he just was cutting away at it, and you can literally find it all the time. You can pull up the information, and just see
Yeah.
how much he's chipped away. And then like I'll see people sharing these articles because every week Trump is going, okay, we're gonna open up by this day, or we're gonna open all the economy up by this day. He cares about the economic side of things,
Yeah,
and
that's
other
all he cares about.
yeah,
And
and
if
people
you keep looking at those same articles,
yeah,
Barack's saying stay home even after when we all open back up. Keep staying home for more weeks. Don't go back out there.
like it's hard economically, but if everybody dies because we want to help people keep money in their pocket right now, then we still won't have an economy.
Yeah, it
Either
defeats the purpose.
yeah, it would be counterproductive to open it right now, and then we fall back in shambles, and we're sitting at the Great Depression Part 2. I'm not trying to be walking around with slacks and dirty jeans, and my loafers have mold on them. Like I'm cool, cool.
I can't even. The thing is, though, I can't even really blame him like that because personally, he's not a real politician to me.
Mm. He
He's
is
a
a
businessman. That's what we forget.
He
You
trying
feel
to
me?
think of things the way that a businessman would think of things.
That's the
hmm
He think if the economy fails, like the whole country gonna go down. But what you don't realize is, if you keep sending people out there to die, that's also gonna affect the economy. They can't spend money if they're dying.
it just shows you how much the 1% and the capitalist big business tycoon side of America does not care about its workforce unless the workforce is making the money. If the
Right.
workforce is not making them money, they would do whatever they can to make them money again, even if it costs the workforce their life, because they'll have money temporarily, and it'll be maybe a slight into the foreseeable future, but they don't care, and it's clear with our president and how much he just simply does not care about the humanitarian side of things.
And
So
everybody's just following everything he says because they want to go back outside or because they like $1,200. And everything he says, they're just eating it up. But it's not necessarily the smartest thing to be doing is to go back outside now just because you want to be out there. Like, we all want a summer, but
right,
realistically, we shouldn't be out yet. I don't think we should.
yeah,
No,
Yeah,
but to be
I don't
honest,
believe anything. In terms of like the dates that were, gonna be open, I don't believe any of it, to be honest, because I don't see it ending anytime soon. To be
I mean,
honest.
I know they said those dates like were mostly for states that are showing a downward spiral, so it's not going to be New York regardless. So like we're not going to open anytime soon simply for New York City being like one of the biggest cities in the world with the virus right now. It's going
right.
crazy over there. But I know some of the other states like where they're barely showing anybody, they were talking about slowly opening it up in phases. Like at first just opening up people could go back out again and then I think next was like hospitals and schools and stuff like in phases. But I don't think we're nowhere near ready, especially in New York, to open up yet.
I think Florida just reopened their beaches, but
Yeah, they said tonight, they all
yeah,
gonna be open up again.
but Florida is a problem state because they're not doing any. Well, I'm not gonna say they're not doing any testing. They're doing little to no testing because they don't want the numbers to reflect that. So like reflect that disease has been spreading there. So like like the governor of Florida is basically just like if you guys die, you die. You get it, whatever.
He's
But
not doing the testing because
yeah,
if you test and it shows you got bad numbers, then your state got bad numbers. You can't open back up everything like he wants to.
right. And that's
That's awful.
and that's like that's a bit of an infrastructure problem. So not even just that, like our federal government isn't doing much on a state level. We have certain states that are literally just not doing anything. Like I see all the time, people are turning to Governor Cuomo to be head of the country because he's
Yeah,
manning.
because he's manning better than the
Yeah,
president. Like, honestly, I was just thinking the other day, like, I'm so glad we have Cuomo because he's showing a lot of what we need our leader to be showing at this time. And he's looking out
right.
in his best interest for New York and doing things the smart way, not because I want to open the country back up, but because this is how we need to do it. And
Yeah,
he
and that's
like,
the
and Trump's not
Yeah,
even cooperating with him. Like he asked for
mm,
what is it called? The
the ventilator.
ventilators. How he
Hmm.
asked for all those ventilators. He asked for like 40,000, and Trump sent him like 400. And then he said he needed more, and he was like, I'm gonna send like 4,000 more, but he didn't want to send more than that because he was like, I don't think they need that much. But the amount he said he needed was based on statistics, like the statistic, this how many we're gonna need for our hospitals, and he purposely just not cooperating. Like he's doing
And
everything
then
based off his gut and nothing off of
yeah,
actual facts.
and
right.
then
Like I said
and that
before,
I was gonna
these are,
say. Oh, go
these
on.
are like reasons that I don't consider him a real politician. And I don't even understand how the people around him, like his advisors and stuff, are even like even letting this shit fly or condoning it.
I
Like,
mean, I feel like there's only so much they could do though.
Yeah,
Like as an
I mean,
advisor, like you can
yeah,
give me your opinion all you want, but at the end of the day, like the POTUS has the last word. Unless
yeah.
except for like obviously certain things he doesn't. But for a lot of what they advise him on, like he's just taking their advice. He doesn't even have to listen to them, and he doesn't. And he shows that he does not care what anybody else thinks. If it doesn't align with his ideals, he's most likely not going to listen to it.
He's basically a giant man baby sitting in office who everybody around him just conforms to whatever he says, and that's just that.
Basically. And everybody gonna vote him right back in office over some $1,200 checks. Watch.
And because Biden should not be the forefront of the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys heard, but Obama recently endorsed Biden, and I'm pretty sure, but like Obama only endorsed Biden not because like I don't think it's because Biden has these forward thinking ideals that truly represent the Democratic Party. Definitely not what Obama
Nah,
would stand for,
no.
but it's only just because there's been this saying where it's vote blue no matter who because the Democrats need Trump out of office. Like
Yeah,
their whole
yeah.
thing right now is that America needs Trump out of office because no Republican wanted to step up to go against them because the
right.
Republicans are like, screw it, we'll just hold office regardless. So that's the only reason big Democrats who have the attention on
Mhm.
them have to endorse Biden since Bernie couldn't come in, or Warren couldn't get the
Right.
attention of their own. They're like, screw it, they gotta go for him. But Biden is like almost a conservative.
Yeah,
Like
Biden's
when you
awful.
listen
Like
to him,
the more
yeah,
I listen to Biden, the more I'm like, why did we even like him before? Like I feel like anybody only liked him before because he was with Obama
Obama,
before.
yeah,
Like
and
nobody
Obama
ever
only
actually
chose
listened
him.
to him. And after I sat there and listened to him, I'm like, he's barely a Democrat with a lot of his ideals. Like I don't like
And
him.
yeah, Obama literally only chose him because Obama knew that his skin alone was too forward for the country. It was too
Hmm.
liberal. It was too
Yeah, he
progressive.
needed like a
So,
white vice
yeah,
president,
so
especially a conservative one, to get certain people on board.
That's a
it,
fact.
it was his only way of standing a chance, and he knows right now that the only way for the Democrats to win is for him to, as like the one of the faces of progressive Democrats, to go, okay, I support Biden. And then Bernie is gonna say, like, Bernie is like, all right, I'm not campaigning anymore for president. My ballots are still open. You can vote me in your primaries, whatever. But eventually, Bernie's also probably gonna have to go. Okay, please, please, please,
Yeah.
please, buddy, we gotta go up against
Yeah,
Trump.
because
Go Biden.
right.
But
Yeah, because once you have two different people on the Democratic Party both fighting for those same votes, it diminishes our numbers like on that like it just people are going to be torn a weird way once you do it that way because if I like Bernie but I don't like Biden, if Bernie doesn't win, I might not vote for Biden. It's just simple as that. And then people are going to be torn and just make the whole thing weird. I don't like anybody who's running for president this year at all, to be honest.
I haven't been paying attention enough, but what happened to Bernie Sanders? Why he the race?
wait, repeat your question one more time.
What happened to Bernie Sanders? Why did he take himself out the race? I seen like an
Um,
article. I looked into it.
um, Bernie basically chose to drop out because he's been doing more COVID-19 relief than he has been campaigning. He knows just how risky it would be to hold a campaign and be traveling excuse me, and be traveling across the country right now, and he feels that the safety and protection and the health of the American people are more important than him winning. So he chose to basically step back. But he also said he will still see his name on ballots across primaries.
Yeah, he's just not gonna campaign because that's smart.
So his campaigning is done. So he's not really pulling himself out of the race. He's pulling himself out of the campaigning part and just telling his supporters, if you're going to support me in the primary, go ahead. I will see you guys at the Democratic convention, which I think is in the summer before they
Yeah, I
decide who
believe
it's going
so.
to be. Yeah,
I believe it's in
I
August
think
or
it's like
something.
yeah, mid July, early August, like sometime between there, I believe. So yeah, that is I think that's a good place to wrap up our opening thoughts.
Hmm.
Um, everybody's doing well. That's some quarantining information. Um, what do we have? What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? A lot has been going on. Since people are allowed to be in the house a lot more, it's given some people some positive things to do. Other people a little more on the negative side. Um, just people are bored. A recent like topic of debate where everybody was able to chime in was is that of cultural appropriation when it comes to hairstyles. Um,
Yeah. Hmm. Like the with the braids and the blonde hair and stuff.
mhm. And I guess kind of the face of those cultural appropriation debates was that of what's it, Bod Baby?
Bad baby, I believe it is. I'm not even positive.
Yeah, I don't know. She spells her name weird and she speaks in
Her
weird
name's like Danielle or something like Danielle. I
Bergoli.
think it's her real name.
Yeah.
So Miss Bergoli has recently been accused of blackfishing, cultural appropriation, and recently equating herself to Tarzan, saying that because she grew up around the most stereotypical role of ghetto, loud, obnoxious black people. It has forced her to behave in that manner as if she were Tarzan surrounded by nothing but gorillas. And a lot of people have taken offense to her word choice and analogy that she chose to go with. Um, and I just want to say before I open the floor to all of you to chime in, um, I don't think she should have gotten like people have been saying this for years, especially when she first started like getting attention. She shouldn't have gotten this attention. Like her first appearance was her being disrespectful to her mother and trying and like you can obviously tell that she was trying to be um like she was
Obnoxious, yeah.
purposely seeking out those disgusting stereotypes of black women and trying to make it a personality. So she was misrepresenting black culture and black people, like specifically us. We were taking her in and going, ah ha ha, this is funny, but ah ha ha, my mom would never let this fly, da da da. When she was first popping off, and then she used that as a way to get a record deal, make music, and people went, okay, well, I guess she's a little calmer now, and then just continued to
Condone.
pump that girl's head up, and yeah, and
Hmm.
condone her actions, even like telling her to like fight. What was her name? Whoa, Vicky,
Well,
and stuff
Vicky,
like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
like
was a
like
whole
for
thing.
years, yeah, for years, social media has pumped this girl head up to give her this inflated, and even more inflated sense of entitlement, to where now she feels like she can say the N word on live and without any repercussions, and she doesn't see that putting her hair, and I don't even know what the hairstyle was, box
I think they
braids.
were like box braids or something. Like she wears some braid styles.
Yeah, yeah, like she can't even see that like that stuff has cultural significance to black women who are always being told that they can't wear weave and stuff like that. Like she's doing it and people aren't seeing that it's an issue. She's making her skin darker. Like if you buying makeup that ain't just shade and then you tan and then you trying to obviously cater yourself to be something you're not. Like that just looks weird. Yeah, it just makes it like look weird, but I don't know. Like, what do you guys think?
Personally, I've been saying this from the jump. Mother been condoning this shit that she been doing since she was on Dr. Phil, and now people are surprised. It doesn't surprise me at all. I was like finally, I knew. I feel like I knew it was gonna happen, and now
Right.
that it did, I'm like, here we go. Y'all let this happen. You know what I'm saying? Because that
Right.
was shit from the jump. Um, yeah, just certain shit like, bro, that's not it. Like, this is not it. I've been seeing this shit coming, and people been condoning it, and now they're mad because this finally happened. But it's just like this shouldn't surprise you at all. If y'all had shut the shit down from the jump,
Mm,
then we wouldn't be having this conversation.
right.
My
Yeah.
take on it is like if we keep giving her the attention she wants, you feel me? If we never paid her on, she'll never blow like this. This is us giving it to her. When we react and stuff like that. You know how people say you're not supposed to react to things.
Hmm.
Like we gave her the reaction she wanted, so now she just kept building her fame. And to the point where she built her music career. Bro, no funny joke, she got songs with like over 3 million on there, I think, bro, if I'm not mistaken. And that's because we keep
And she
giving her.
got songs with like real artists featured on them, like legit artists, like
Right.
21 Savage and stuff. Like
Cause
real artists be on her songs.
why people know like the exposure is gonna be good. They know it's gonna build their numbers up. Everybody want like 6ix9ine. It's not like with this music game. It's not about who makes the best music anymore. It's who could sell the most. 6ix9ine was going on number one all them times. Not because he got the best song in the world. Because his antics, he drew everybody's attention. Now you clicking to see what he's talking about. Bad Baby's gonna be the same thing. She's gonna draw antics to herself. You feel me? And now you're gonna click on her song to see what she's talking about.
And
I don't think she was a rapper before like in the show. I don't think that was her goal.
No, she
no,
wasn't. She just was a normal girl who was bad at home and didn't respect her mom. And then it was a whole. She saw like the Dr. Phil thing as a chance to blow up, I guess. So she started acting out on the show, and that's how it started.
Well,
and
not.
and
I feel like the Dr. Phil thing was just it was regular shit, and then when she saw it went viral, she was like, well,
Yeah.
milk this shit like a fucking cow. Like, you feel me?
Yeah. I mean, you can't even blame her for that.
And you, yeah,
Like
legit.
if anything, like if anything, I was gonna say like like Bess was saying, like how she's getting like real rappers on her songs. It's because as soon as Atlantic saw that she was marketable, anybody on Atlantic was being put as a feature. So like those are her label mates technically. Like she's sitting
Mhm.
with Cardi, Migos, 21 Savage,
Right.
like
The
anybody
artist that
that's
everybody's
yeah
listening to.
yeah really like these she's sitting with a powerhouse label at the
And
for
she
the most
shouldn't
part.
be.
And yeah, and she absolutely should not be. And if anything, I'm thinking like do you guys know that Instagram page? What was it? Remix God Suede, and that's his name.
I believe I it sounds
Yeah,
familiar.
yeah. Where he'll take something that's a meme and he'll remix it, and then it'll be over like a trap beat, and it'll just keep repeating the phrase. Like it was "Catch Me Outside." How about that? How
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
it, just that video alone made people
Oh yeah, I know
realize,
what you mean. Like the
okay,
remix.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that alone made people go, this is marketable to us. And she went, I am a marketable center of attention.
Yeah.
And I think she genuinely needs to be sat down with like no cameras, like legit therapy, because she has like an identity like issue. She wants all eyes on her. Like that's like borderline narcissism right there. She thinks everything has to be about her. And you can see it just looking at a 30-second clip of her that she wants all the attention all the time at
Yeah,
the
even with her
cost,
mom. Yeah.
yeah, at the cost of anybody's own feelings or physical well-being. Like she does not care. It's about her and her only.
Honestly, I feel like the whole thing like with the cultural appropriation, the whole braids thing and that like she
Mm,
doesn't like she said she did grow up around all those people and it's not an excuse, but to her it is an excuse. She's gonna think that's an
yeah.
excuse if everyone keeps giving her that excuse. Like literally everyone keeps saying, yeah, she grew up in the hood. Why she can't say nigga? Like it's
Yeah.
the same with any person who is not of African descent. Like you can't say that. Like but if you give them those outs like that, like I I grew up around these people, I should be able to say it, then they're gonna take them. Especially if you giving it to them too. It's people like black people and everything condoning her.
Hmm.
Like she did grow up around. Like what do you expect her to act like? Not like you. Why is she acting like you
Right.
though? Is my thing. And
Let
like the whole like the blackfishing thing, like at first I
mm,
thought it was kind of dragged, but like when you look at the photos, it's really like it's
it's very
like a
apparent.
ton of makeup. Like it's
Yeah.
obnoxious how much makeup. And then like she did, you can tell she either like got her lips done or she does something to make them look bigger or whatever she
Mm,
does to them. It does not look the same. Like and at first I thought it was just like she's getting older. But if you look at like her Instagram photos, people were posting pictures from like November and October, just a
mm,
couple months ago, and her skin was still like pale white like before, and then she had the smaller lips and everything. Like her, like it was the same as it always been, and then all of a sudden her whole feature has changed, and then
right.
it comes you realize she's doing this on purpose, and it's not
Right.
okay anymore when you're trying to make yourself look like someone else.
Right. I was gonna ask you, do you think more specifically, I'm gonna ask you about like black people condoning her actions. Do you think that opens up a conversation about some people believe that ghetto and that word equates to black and our economic status regardless of your
And
color
that's
equates to
and
black
yes,
culture. Yeah,
I agree with you. that
because
that whole thing that just because she's ratchet or out there, that's not a black like I
yeah,
don't
that's not a
know.
black
Maybe
thing. Yeah,
it's not a black trait. So part of like what I feel like she was just trying to be a bird. She was trying to be ratchet. She was trying to be out
yeah,
there. I feel like her acting that way isn't necessarily like appropriation, but I feel like once she starts to like physically try to change herself into somebody else, that's when it gets to be like it's offensive at that point because you're
yeah.
trying to look black. You're trying to seem black when people look at you. It's not you're not
And
just acting out like if she's saying like I'm acting like if someone says she's acting black, that is incorrect because she's not. She's acting like a bird. She's acting out,
yeah,
and that's not a black trait.
yeah.
There's,
And the only way that it becomes a negative, as in she's acting black, is from the fact that if it came from her own mouth, because
Right.
she equates acting
Her
ghetto and
behavior to
ratchet
black, right?
to, yeah, so that's her own negative perception, and as black people we have to go, yo, we are not all ghetto and black. We are, like, we are not all ghetto, and that does not make us black. We are not all poor. That does not make us black. We are not all, just
Right.
like everything that she's trying to embody only puts a negative light on things that are inherently negative.
Right.
And that's the principle of this
Mhm.
topic that a lot of people are missing and are trying to excuse along with
Right.
her. So,
Yeah, I agree with that. And like the whole
um,
Tarzan thing, that whole thing really it kind of had me on the fence with that, because I feel like she wasn't trying to call black people apes, but I feel like
yeah, no,
her word choice is so awful. Like she needs
yeah,
someone like a publicist or somebody to sit down with her and tell her how she need to speak in front of the cameras, because she's, unless she's doing it on purpose, she's making herself look awful every time she opens her mouth.
she,
And then
Like,
even even with that, like even the people around her are not even looking at this shit like it's
yeah,
something wrong. Like you feel me? Like even when
Even if
she's
you
on
want her image to be a certain way,
like
you don't want her to look racist on the internet. That's not good for anybody. So it's like, to an extent, you gotta watch what she's doing. Like, I don't get why
even
nobody is checking her at all.
even with her friend, she was like, I have black friends. Look over here, my friend is black as fuck. Like, what are you saying, bro? Like, are you good, my nigga? Like,
nah, but you know why she gotta keep doing that, bro? If she stop doing the shit she's doing, who's gonna talk about her, bro? She's not. How's she gonna be relevant? Like I see like recently, you know how Will Vicky, like not trying to compare situations, like Will Vicky started a YouTube channel. She gotta keep people's attention, because you can think about this. You only hot for so long, bro. Like remember back in the day, Spoken Reason was that nigga. Like we didn't mess a video about him, and then all of a sudden he's back out, like he off the mat. You feel me? So when you hot, you gotta keep that
Yeah,
momentum.
because
You feel me?
now, when
But
was the last video you seen Spoken Reasons in?
that's what I'm
Before the
saying.
Wild
So
and
now
Out?
yeah, before now he's back in the spotlight, and you see how you can just easily fall off and stuff like that. And they're not comedians, so it's not you got they got a platform like wow not to you feel me do shit
Right,
like
she
that.
don't even got a craft to do. She
You
just
feel me? Like
there.
a lot of niggas like all right. So don't get me wrong, Boosie's that nigga. Boosie can rap, but he not no mainstream rapper. So for him to be talked about and like for him to do shit, he got to do them Instagram live antics. That's what's gonna keep him relevant and shit like that.
put his lips on live. I give you $1,000.
Yeah, but I
um,
feel like that's the same thing. It's just,
Yeah, it is
it's
definitely.
a difference between like like humor is funny a little bit, and then you gotta realize when you're taking it too far. You're just trying to be out there for views,
right,
and that's making you look dumb at the same time. It's like, it's a level to it. It's my thing.
yeah.
Yeah, and at the same time, even though I don't like it, I gotta respect it because at the end of the day, that's how they getting their money.
I mean,
No, I can't
everybody
respect
talking
it at all.
about. I
I can't
can't
say.
respect it. I definitely can't respect it.
Yeah,
All right, I can't say. All right, I can't. How do I put this?
It's like, once you put them in that position, what else you expect them to do? Like, you can't really, like, I feel like it is still like I don't respect it at all. It's racist, but I get what you're trying to say. Like, once you
Yeah,
let them do that stuff, that's what they're gonna do to make their money. You shouldn't have
yeah,
let them do it in the first place if you was gonna be mad. Like, that's their hustle at the end of the day,
yeah,
because you gave it to them.
yeah.
You gonna give them this hustle and then be mad that they using it, but they've been using it all this time and you've been cheering them on. Now it's a little bit too obvious that she's culture appropriating, and now everybody has a problem with it.
Yeah. I mean, just in like the greater, like, I don't know, I probably should have said this before we got too deep. But just like defining what cultural appropriation means, especially when we talk about like who can wear braids and then like the blonde hair type thing. Like I'll see a lot of people go, why can't people who aren't black, wear certain types of braid styles, but black women do blonde hair? And like the counter to that is blonde is a natural hair color that isn't like it isn't solely
It's,
a white
yeah.
trait. Like there's people in Africa who, and life started in Africa, by the way. Newsflash
Mhm.
if you didn't know. Like there are tribes in Africa where their only hair color is blonde.
Yeah, they're born chocolate skinned and their
Yeah,
hair is literally yellow blonde. Like, there's no
yellow blonde
distinction,
or
and it's still the same
orange.
texture, but it's just like
Yeah,
blonde. a color can't be specific to one race. I don't feel like that's the same thing at all as taking our
Yeah.
hairstyle and wearing it. But
Like,
when we wear the hairstyles to a job interview, we get turned away because it's not professional enough.
mhm.
That's never gonna happen to somebody wearing like I feel like it's the negative aspects of it. Like we got to take the negative with the positive. You don't get to just wear it and it be cute on you, but you don't got to take none of the negative with it.
Right. And like, I've been having the cultural appropriation discussion for the last like 6, 7, 8 weeks, I think.
Hmm.
And it was why can't white people wear dreads? And I was like, because dreads have a cultural significance to the cultures that they come from. And if you just trying to wear dreads to be trendy without acknowledging the historical and cultural significance of dreadlocks, then please do not wear it. And if you understand that cultural and historical significance, you would know why
You
you
can't
should not
wear it.
be wearing dread. Exactly. Like it was just last year, I believe, 3 separate states had to pass laws saying this says do not discriminate men and women who come in with dreadlocks. Just last year, the law had to be
Hmm.
passed. That's only in 3 of the 50 states. Like the fact that we are just now like the fact that we have to actually write into law not
That you can't.
discriminate people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that wasn't an automatic given. Is astounding. Like if like you have people of color, black people specifically, where we have to have laws protecting us for our hair, and we say, yo, please don't wear my hairstyle because just last week I couldn't get a job with it. I don't want to see you win it. If you can't respect that, then like you know that is an obvious issue, and that's why I'm saying please don't wear the hairstyle. Please don't wear dreads. Don't wear
Exactly.
braids.
If you
Wear
don't see
lemon
the
twist.
issue in
Don't
it,
wear kinky twists. Yeah, like don't do none of it.
right. If you don't see
And
the issue with it, you're disrespecting the whole reason why,
mhm,
like the whole reason why it's negative to like in a certain like the fact that it gets seen as negative, just like we are talking about like there's like statues in like down south from the Confederate soldiers, and like a lot of black people don't want you to take them down because once you take them down, that's literally visually our history. You trying to hide it now. Like we want everyone to remember that you did this to us, and it's right here. It's our history. It's a part of us. So just like with the whole hair aspect, if you're gonna ignore why we don't want you to wear it, then that's a disrespect in itself. You don't even care about the history of it, but you want to wear it.
now the only thing I'm gonna say about the Confederate statues thing is I cannot see in any way, shape, or form how a statue of a Confederate war general could be positive for black people,
I
other
mean, I
than okay,
never,
you
yeah, I never like agreed with it, but I know that there was like I was watching something and it was like a lot of black people in town. They all wanted it down, and it was this one guy. He was like a senator or something, so he was one of the main ones in power. He was like, "Yeah, no, we're not taking it down because y'all not about to try to hide what y'all did. Y'all gonna move the statue somewhere nice so no one can ever know about all of the like fucked up things this general did to black people in this town. He was racist as
right,
hell. Y'all idolize him, so keep idolizing him." In the positive and negative things he did, y'all not about to hide it. So I mean, once he explained it, I understood where he was coming from, but I still was like, we should move the statue. I
yeah,
feel like it should still be moved. But
okay,
like, I
yeah,
can I can understand it at the
yeah,
same
I
time, but
understand.
I'm not really on the same side necessarily in every situation. But I can respect why they wouldn't want it moved.
Right, right, okay. Well, yeah, I think that wraps up uh that conversation. Everybody's kind of weighed in their piece.
Hmm.
Um,
Well,
let's
I
see, you guys wanna? Huh?
with that though is just I remember someone saying it before, just talking about how if someone likes what they see and they want to imitate that
Hmm.
is a reason why they do that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Like and and how like in the media and stuff, um, it's like kind of like ingrained in people. Like I remember in a different a few weeks ago, someone said that that in terms of the colorism conversation
Hmm.
mhm,
and
How it's
how
instilled in them.
yeah and just it and how if everyone's making you feel bad about looking the way you want to look different.
Hmm.
Um, and stuff, which is not an excuse, but at the same time, like I get
It
it.
plays a factor, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, if everyone says that like thick women with big lips and bodacious bodies is what's in right now, then that's what you're gonna try to look like at the same time. Just like
Mhm.
I feel like everyone blew the whole bad baby thing out of proportion simply because we allow celebrities like the Kardashians and the Jenners and all of them, we've been allowing them to do the same shit for years. So how are we gonna say that she's wrong when we are condoning these other women doing the same thing,
Well,
making
the only
billions off of it? Like I don't
well,
understand.
the only thing I'm gonna say about that is people combat the Kardashian and Jenners almost any time they put a picture of themselves out, but there's still so many people in support where it just feels like lost voices when people speak out against the Kardashian and the Jenners because so many people will overwhelm them like just overwhelm them as soon as they say it. I mean, you can look at a
Mhm.
after of Kendall Jenner, not Kendall, Kylie, and
Mhm.
you can see that Kylie is trying to mold herself after what pop culture has said is a beautiful woman, and that beautiful woman is a black woman, is for what they're describing it, but it's not her. Like it's literally no
Literally
longer.
not her.
She literally does not look the same anymore.
It's
And
hard to
all these
tell it's the
plastic
same
surgeons
person.
are like all these plastic surgeons are building the same woman that are being described in the music and stuff like that. This over
Mhm.
fetishized and over sexualized description of women.
Unrealistic Coke bottom.
Yeah, and it's it's taking like negative and unhealthy and unrealistic portions of one demographic of the woman and trying to apply it to all women. And whenever
Mhm.
you speak out against it, there's just wave of ignorance that just shoots it down, and it makes it an uphill battle that some people just
Mhm.
give up on, and it's disappointing. Um, just how easily people would just give up and trying to I don't know, try to keep fighting against that. So
Yeah.
they're waiting for the day that people reach their own like self security and go, okay, you know what? Just because this popular rapper is saying this is what he deems attractive, does not mean I have to start shaping myself to like what he thinks is attractive. Like,
Yeah, literally sculpting my body to that shape
yeah.
that he wants.
So I don't know.
But
As
yeah.
soon as people get their own self security like that and stop looking to famous people to literally be their shepherds, the American culture and then the world culture will be so much better. But yeah, let's see. Speaking of music, there's been a lot of new music. The Baby dropped this morning. I don't know if you guys know who Division is. They are a R&B group. They dropped this morning. Let me look. There's been more music that's come out this month. Roddy Rich, I believe, dropped this month. Not Roddy Rich, Rod Wave, sorry, dropped this month. Um, 21 Savage did a single. Playboy Cardi did a single. Tory Lanez dropped an album or mixtape, I think. West Side Gun. Oh, that is Polo G did the song. So what's going on? Has anybody been checking out any new music?
I've been working too much to been listening to the music. Like actually, but I did bump Rod Wave. Fisher was fire.
yeah. Same for me. I'll be working a lot. Um, yeah, and I don't really like get into music as much.
Yeah.
Well, I listened to like some of the Baby's album, and I was pretty underwhelmed by it. I'm sure a lot of people were, based on what I was seeing on social media. A lot of people felt like it was a little flat, and that a lot of his features is what carried him through the album. No, there was a couple songs I liked, but like we were saying before, like if you have just a couple songs on the album that are like good and the rest are really iffy, then it kind of makes the whole album flop as a whole.
Hmm.
And then I also listened to the Raw Wave. The album was tough. I didn't really listen to much else other than that though.
Yeah. I've basically been spending the time that I'm like in the house playing a lot of my old favorite projects. Um, I think I think the last time we were talking though, speaking about this artist named Thundercat. He dropped a couple Fridays ago, but he does like funk, like West Coast R&B, jazz, blues type
Mm.
genre mixes. So he definitely won't be in like the more mainstream for his own work, but he does a lot of producing as well. Like he's worked with Kendrick Lamar a lot because he'll do the bass guitar in any Kendrick Lamar song you hear for the most part, especially if you listen to *To Pimp a Butterfly*. Thundercat is all over that album. But but yeah, he did an album recently called "It Is What It Is," which is nice, like mellow but smooth, calming,
Hmm.
you know, melancholic kind of music. If you need something to play as you like, just lying down and you can't really sleep or anything, that's a real good, like, relaxing kind of project to go through. But yeah, I still have to listen to the Baby's um, album. From what I've heard so far, yeah, I've only heard underwhelming, or I've heard people like I'll see people put a screenshot of the song and they'll put a fire emoji, but I haven't heard anything of it to gauge it for myself. I didn't feel like playing music when I was up this morning, so I didn't start playing until this afternoon, and I've only gone
I mean,
through.
I thought it was like a really underwhelming project, but it hit like a lot of like streams really fast. Like I was sawing earlier, it hit like 26 million streams in like half an hour. Like
Yeah,
it was hitting a lot of numbers. It's just nobody really liked what they were hearing, I guess, is what I'm gathering,
I think
compared
the
to like
only
his old
positive,
music.
yeah. Sorry to cut you off, but I was going to say, I think
It's
the
fine.
only positive that should come out of this quarantine for musicians who can still find a way to record and release is the fact that everybody's at home right now. You can hit pretty much 85% of your fan base at once. Like
Hmm.
I'm not surprised by inflated numbers in streams right now. Like it's not surprising because everybody's at home. Everybody has the
Right.
chance to. I mean, even if they're using Spotify and it ain't premium, they were still able to click your album and get through like maybe six of it in that first half hour, and
Hmm.
boom, like those are streams for you. So I don't know, like yeah, it's pretty. I don't know. Yeah, I have to hear it, but like one of my friends who me and him share kind of like similar music opinions, he was saying he felt underwhelmed. He said the baby was doing less of sounding the same on each track, but he didn't have that substance
Hmm.
that pulled him out of listening to it. So I'm kind of like iffy on what to expect going in. So yeah, that's music then.
I can stand it. I haven't been like I've been out the loop for real, for real.
Um, okay. Oh, you know what? That's actually right. That's what we're talking about. There was there's recently floating around a Hove versus Drake debate on who has more hits.
Yeah, they were saying if they went 20 for 20, that Hove wouldn't beat Drake.
And what so my opinion on that is Drake is only winning on the number side. Um,
Yeah.
to Hove, but if we're actually like just listening to their singles and putting it up song for song, I'm not gonna side with Drake.
Yeah, if we're like not thinking of like streams, because like obviously Hope's music was like in a whole different like era as far as the way people listen to music. Like the numbers are gonna be a little different on different like album sales. Like people were actually buying albums back then versus not as many actually pay for albums now. So those numbers are gonna be different. But if you actually pay attention to like the substance of the music, like especially like as a rapper, I don't understand how anyone could even compare the two.
Yeah. Um.
Um, Personally, I feel like it's not a fair argument in this day and age because music is totally different and people's taste for music is totally different too.
Hmm.
At young, so it's like the stuff. Like personally, I like I like Jay Z, but at the same time, I don't listen to Jay Z like that. I don't really mess with '90s music like that. So I just really don't like mess with as much of his music as I do Drake's, and that's pretty much the same for most young people out here because it's like Drake is who's popping right now. You feel me?
Right.
So I feel like it's not fair to compare them
Well,
because
I'm sorry. I was gonna say the only reason a lot of people compare Drake and Jay Z is because both of them had like these huge, like they were the top dog in the hip hop industry, like runs, like if you look at it, Drake has a decade long run where anything he touches is gold. Like
yeah,
so, and the same was for Jay Z when he was at his peak and his prime and he was coming up and whatnot. Where even now, if Jay Z hops on your track, you're about to get like you about to get that traffic that you wanted that made Jay Z even want to be on your song anyway. So that's the only reason people compare the two because they're both giants, respectfully giants in the game. And like I don't know, like if I'm doing the hits for hit, even if one wins over the other, it's gonna be close for me. Like I'm not gonna say that if we're doing 20 for 20, Drake is winning 11. Like Drake would be win 11 and Jay Z gets 9. I'm not saying Drake's getting 15 and Jay Z's getting 5 or Jay Z's getting 15 and Drake's getting
Yeah.
5. I think it's gonna be 11-9 either way.
I feel like it could go either way. It might be 10-10 or 11-9. Like I don't think, like you
Yeah.
said, I don't think it's gonna be a wide margin between one or the other because we can't. Like I try to downplay Drake all the time. I know I do, but you can't deny that he's one of those artists that's like the top of his time. So you can't take anything away from him just because, like he doesn't write his own raps or whatever the case people say. You can't take away from him as like an artist for that reason. So I feel like it
No,
still would be a good split down the middle, but like if we're going 20 for 20, like in that scenario,
yeah.
20 for 20, not necessarily any other, stipulation about it, then it might be a little bit more even.
Well, if I want to say if anything, because like I also don't really like I also kind of downplay Drake a little bit too, and not even like in his impact on the game, because
Hmm.
like him, Kanye, like T Pain, kind of like ushered in it to be kind of
Yeah.
cool to be doing singing and rapping at the same time, and Drake is crowned for that a little bit more, but like Drake says Kanye is my idol and stuff like that, so like it trickles down from there. Um, and where is it going? But like, I don't see Drake as an album artist. So like, if you ever sat and listened to his albums, you like the singles and you like songs that resemble the singles, and then the rest of the album is kind of like, eh, eh,
Yeah,
especially
like
well,
like what was
once you
what was Drake's best album? Take Care.
take
Take care.
care, or nothing was the same.
I
One of
feel
those
like
two.
that by far was his best album. Like I don't think any
Yeah.
of his other albums even came close. Like, cause
Yeah.
I don't think he's like an album artist. I feel like he's more of a
His
single artist.
If anything, his peak was if you're reading this, it's too late, and
Hmm.
that was a mixtape. But since then, none of like his last three albums have not been good. He's had good singles because they've been good numbers wise, and they're catchy, but like his albums lack that same spark. Like I've been saying since 2015, I like Drake better when he's in a rap beef because then I get to hear that same hunger that Drake
Yeah,
had.
you can actually hear that he's actually trying. Like when Drake puts out a song, he don't really try. Everybody fucks with his music as soon as he just put a sing songy beat on it. It sound catchy. Everybody gonna mess with it because his voice sound good. But like when you
Right.
actually hear him trying to rap, like for real, it's like refreshing because it's better. Like it's different. It's a switch up. He's actually trying for the fame, I guess, the attention, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
But I don't know. Yeah, like yeah. I don't know. I definitely like we definitely could be like if we weren't a streaming like if music wasn't a streaming predominant industry like that, and Drake had to rely on his singles, it would probably reflect more in his album sales that he is probably is going to be leaning into a decline soon. Like he has already hit his peak because
Yeah, I
nobody
feel
is
like
going
he's on
back.
the other
Yeah,
side.
yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah.
definitely don't feel like he's in his prime anymore.
Right.
But, I mean, still valid.
Because
Still,
yeah, because nobody's going back to Scorpion saying, "Yo, Scorpion was mad good." Like now that I look back on it, bro, there was so many. Like nobody's going
Like
back to
views.
Scorpion
Who
and that.
listens to views anymore?
Yeah, nobody's going back to
Exactly.
views. Nobody. Yo, More Life dropped, and like the industry was silent. Like it took me 2 weeks to know that he even dropped More Life, and normally I'd know Drake was coming, like right away. And like I was on the internet all the time. More Life dropped, and it was like anyway, Future's coming out in a week. Like that's literally how More Life went. When Future is getting over, Future is overshining Drake. That album was literally like nobody cared for it. When Future was outshining Drake at that time, like that was crazy to me. And still nobody's going back to More Life. Like, yo, More Life is mad good. Y'all missed it. Like, come on, no. Like
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
see, the
hearing.
only thing they ever go back to is Take Care.
Yeah.
Ever.
And then that man Pusha T shook him out of making Take Care too.
Mm,
Pusha Thanos definitely made him change up his album.
I don't know.
Nah, like he was definitely going to do a Take Care too. Then he got to that beef with Kanye and Pusha, and he completely redesigned his album. Like
yeah.
I was following that like through and through because like I said, I like when Drake is in a beef. He's at his best. He completely reconstructed his album because of that beef.
Yeah, because like Take Care would have been more like of a softer sound. Like he just was in a beef. He couldn't. He got to post some harder rap shit.
Yeah. So that's why Scorpion it's like a double sided album. You got the rap side for tracks 1 through 13, and then it's the R&B side leading from like 13 to 25 or 14 to 25 or something like that. So it's two tonally different albums that he put under one name because he realized, oh crap, now that I'm in a beef, people are going to be expecting that hard rap again. And like yeah, he just completely had to redo his album. That's why nobody really goes back to Scorpion like that because
Because
like
it
it
was
just don't
like
sound right.
thrown together.
Yeah, it aged poorly, and like the whole first half sounds alike, and then the whole R&B half sounds alike. Like I thought it was
Exactly.
same
Two
same
long
track.
songs.
Yep.
Best, who do you think is better with the whole Drake argument?
So I'm first of all like I'm going with whole thing off the fact like he writes his shit, but then you gotta give Dick his credit because what he's been able to do. Like with that, it's like I'm undecided for real, for real. Like what
Mm.
it is different eras. Like you know how every era got their own like person that they look up to. Jay Z was that man's era. You can't compare them because they didn't come out at the same time. Now it's easier to stream music, so Drake's numbers gonna look better. So there's a lot of shit that plays a factor into that.
Right.
Because two different eras. It's not like they hot at the same time, and you can compare the numbers. It's different now.
That is a fact.
But that's where I'm at.
All right. So it looks like 20 for 20 is kind of split down the middle. It's kind of hard to judge because, like, I agree, it's not really a fair way to judge it because how are you supposed to judge which is better? Like, using what standard?
Not,
Like, you
but
can't use streams, you can't use album sales. It's way more people
but
bought Jay-Z's album back in the day than are buying Drake's albums now because people don't buy albums no more.
but you got to think about like this. So for instance, you know how like the old generation, like not me not say the older cats, like the kids that grew up in the earth, of course they're gonna say Jay Z, and of course we gonna say Drake. That's because like that's the music we adapt to. That's why the music is different. The music can't say the same. It needs to grow. So like for instance, when the when the older guys when they hear music now, they're like, what the fuck is this? Like they're like, what this what y'all listen to? And when we hear they shit, it's like this what y'all bump. Like it's two different eras, so it's never gonna be like everybody got their own era, and certain shit stand out to some people. Like for instance, there's some people that like Tyler the Creator music, but I might be in the same area as him, and I might not even listen to Tyler Curtis song. But that's my preference. You feel me? So it's like it's all different. It's all up to you basically. All your preference, your environment.
I feel like it's hard to be objective when you grew up in a different time, you grew up listening to different music and different sounds.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, and I was just about to say something like that. Like it's hard to stay objective when they're two different rap styles. Like they rap completely differently. Like most of their songs don't sound similar to one another. So it's not like you just have two drill rappers and you comparing them, or two, rappers like Drake comparing them. But they rap completely different. So it does make it a little hard to compare the two, and like music quality in itself.
Because don't get it wrong, the numbers could also lie too. So like that's like saying, little baby, I mean, when I say little baby, 6ix9ine. Look at all the numbers, all the songs got on the chart, right? You might not say those songs is on the chart not because of his music and shit, but because of the antics behind it. Because we're checking for him. You feel me? But I don't make it sound better than somebody like who's the rapper that's on the chart?
That one's a little hard though because remember when 6ix9ine first came out, everybody was listening to him.
No, the antics. We was like, what the fuck is this? Like,
Nah, I mean, yeah, they liked him
it,
for the antics. I feel like because he was like out there, but everybody was listening. Like when
it,
Gummo came out, when them
listen,
songs came
bro,
out,
no,
everybody was listening to him. Even before
bro,
he just started doing like the outrageous stuff. Like he always was, but I'm saying like I feel like
no,
a lot of people like. Yeah, I get what you're saying, like with the whole outrageous behavior, but I feel like that's what made them like his music.
Well, I look at it like this, bro. Like his song, like the shit he's doing, is literally shit he took from like Young Pappy, Ronald Number Nine, Ebby G Duck, Onyx, and shit. Like they make the same type of music, but they songs are not doing the same number as Nine because of his image. The image helped them blow up. Like Bad Baby, I'm pretty sure she's on the charts. And not because she got the best song, it's because you're checking for her, bro.
I hope she's not.
Nah, I think she is. Like she got songwriters and everything. Like I mean, look at her biggest song again.
I
Her
know she
biggest
has
song.
songs, but I hope she's not actually on the charts. Like, it's one
Nah,
thing to have songs that hit a couple million. It's another thing to hit the chart.
she hit the chart. She hit that high bitch and
Yeah,
Gucci
I remember High Bitch. High Bitch had a remix
and
too. That hit the charts too.
yeah,
High Bitch
Gucci flip
remix
flop.
had like Two Chains or some. It had like I think it had like who did
Rich the
it have
Kid,
money?
you
Yeah, Rich the Kid. That's what it was.
and then she got bad, and she got Gucci flip flops with Lil Yachty. Those and like,
Mm.
but you could, a lot of niggas is better than her. You feel me? But they don't got the
'Cause-
antics. They don't got the chance to draw people's attention.
yeah, and then if you have them rappers on your song like as a
But the thing,
feature, it's just like, oh, well, it's probably a decent song because it's actually got a rapper on it for real, so it actually might
but
come
the thing
out sounding good.
High Bitch is the biggest song she got, and that shit haven't gotten. That's her by herself.
Hmm.
Got Rich the Kid.
That same ratchet sound that everybody likes her for, all them antics, like you're saying, I feel like that's also what's selling her music.
That's what I'm saying.
That
You know?
high bitch, that entire song is that same mentality of how she acts in that
Even
Dr.
even
Phil, that whole ratchet high bitch, like the whole song. Like I liked the song when it came out. It was on my phone. I know it was very ratchet. That's what it was. It was catchy and ratchet in every
yeah,
way.
but I feel like with the antics, for me personally, the only reason I listened to that song was because she was Phil from the jump. That's the only reason it even came up. Like, you feel me?
Hmm.
So it's like partly like you gotta like just blame it on that.
Yeah, I feel like that's why most people even tapped on it in the first place. I mean, if you think about it, a lot of people that blow up nowadays is because of like Instagram or what they do. Like DC Young Fly, everybody listens to him because or watches Wildin' Out now because they like him. He's funny, but that all started from Instagram and Vine and the videos he was doing. Like a lot of people make their image off of the videos they post or like how they portray themselves, they act, and then people will tap on your video based off seeing you on another video that was funny or something.
now, like Lil Pump, Gucci Gang. They said he said that shit so many. He said Gucci Gang so many times. That shit can't catch it to motherfuckers. And then next thing you know, he's on the charts.
Yeah, I don't really like Lil Pump.
I hated that song, but after it kept playing, that gets stuck in your head. Him saying the same two words over and over again, and all of a sudden everybody thinks it's catchy, but it's just because you caught them same words over and over. It's like it's hard not to catch on to the lyrics.
Yeah, facts when there's only two words.
Mm,
Yeah. I kind of feel like we've grown out of that era of hip hop where uh, uh people were just repeating the same phrase for
Mhm.
just for the playability, which makes me kind of happy for the
Mhm.
most part that people are actually trying to make music again. But I've been having this kind of reoccurring thought that I think it's time that we start letting hip hop actually branch off into the subgenres that it needs to, and then getting their own respective names, so that way
Yeah.
everybody's not grouped together.
Like with the
Because
Lil
then that
Nas
just
X thing.
no, not even the little Nas X thing. I mean people that are like Roddy Rich and Polo G and
Mhm.
Dirk and Herb and well Herb would actually be considered more of a traditional rapper based on his actual performance. I mean all
Mhm.
those guys who do the more melodic hip hop, Kennedy
Yeah.
Rock, but like all those guys need their own genre by definition. Whatever it is, one of them needs to come up with. Like I know there's drill, and drill music is drill music. As soon as you hear it, you know okay that's drill, and drill is a
Like
subgenre of hip
you
hop.
got drill,
But those guys don't have a name. You said what?
Right.
you got scam rappers.
I can't hear you. Say it one more time.
Scam. The rappers that rap
Scam.
about, yeah, they just talk about scamming shit. Pieces.
I mean,
Like
no. I
TJX6.
mean, I don't mean giving them a topic based on their subject matter. I mean grouping them based on their
Yeah,
sound.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Uh, because hip hop is the more general term, but anybody can kind of be hip hop if they're using the right beat selection. Kind of sort of, but then you have rappers who are actual people who are performing the rhythm and poetry aspect, like they are literally like writing rhymes that are meant to that would literally be poetry, but they're performing it for you over
Mhm.
music. And
And
then
I
you
feel like
have
that's.
like
Mhm. I'm sorry. Go
yeah,
on.
and then you have people like Drake would just be a hip hop entertainer because he does everything. He does R&B, he'll do the rapping, he'll do the more poppy stuff. Like he is just literally just an entertainer in our culture. So he could be hip hop, whatever people like to call it. But I think a lot of these other guys need their own bracket, the same way rock and roll has heavy metal, alternative rock, pop rock.
Mhm.
Like they're split off in branches, and their fans can easily gravitate to whatever that genre is, and they never intermingle. And each group doesn't have to beef with one another as they define what rock is because they know what kind of rock they're looking for. And hip hop
Right.
hasn't evolved, well, it hasn't evolved and split itself off in the manner that it should be.
Well, I mean,
And I.
part of it though is that people like sound different. Well, can sound different in like the same album. You
Yeah.
feel?
Yeah,
Yep. And I was just gonna say that, like, I feel like we shouldn't group like each artist that way. Maybe like each song should be grouped differently because I know there's artists like you said, Lil Durk. He does some like sing songy melodic raps, and then he does like some real rap, and then same with like a boogie, and then like some other rappers are branching off into that melodic rap, but then they're still sticking with the normal rap the way the format is. And I feel like it should be just like we should have that split like you were saying, but it should just come down to the song itself, or maybe like
right.
each not album, but each project if it fits into one category, things like that.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, cause like it would make it just a lot easier, like because like when you go and you look at a song and it'll have its genre tags as you're like going to go into the album whatnot. It'll say pop, R&B,
Hmm.
alternative, but like it'll be in the backslashes or there may be like a bullet point, whatever in between each word. Like you'll see it right there if the labels and the fans started recognizing it specifically as what it was instead of they just group it and went hip hop, boom, put the label on it, keep going, like because it'll make it easier so that way the entire album would be labeled as hip hop, whatever the new genre is, rap. Boom. Now we know the album falls into those three different categories. When they release it as a single, and that single applies to whatever this new style is. It just
Hmm.
has that name on it, and it's just boom. This is the genre, whatever. Put
Yeah, and
that
then they
label on it. Boom.
automatically end up being different because they have like a
Yeah.
different combination of what makes
Mm,
up that project or whatever.
yeah. It'll just help because like for years people have been going, what's happening to real rap, and like you have these artists who are not standard rappers because they're in their own new genre, who are getting all of the hip hop attention because hip hop has not, you know, split the way that it needs to by genre name. So yeah, so I only brought that up because I think it's time that somebody comes up with an actual name that is positive to them instead of calling them mumble rappers or just melodic rappers or anything like that. Like we give them an actual name, you know, that's befitting to their
Yeah,
style.
and I feel like the whole mumble rap thing, that also isn't. It's not a good term. Like either. Sure, it helps to explain a couple artists, but it doesn't really apply to half the songs they label as mumble rap. Like mumble rap, like
Yeah,
you would think, they're mumbling the words. It's kind of hard to tell what they're saying if you're not listening, that type of thing. But I feel like they're grouping a lot of rappers just because they can't understand them into mumble rap.
yeah, and a lot of the mumble rappers aren't even like big like that anymore, or they have moved to enunciating a little bit better, or they're not there anymore. And that term was derogatory to them. It was telling
Yeah.
them, yo, sit with us because I can't understand you.
Yeah,
And
literally, it was like
that,
you're not real rappers because you're mumbling.
yeah. So I don't know. It's just not fair. And even though I'm not an active consumer of their music, I would like them to get the respect they deserve. So that way I could go, okay, this is not my hip hop. This is something else, and I could call it that something else, and just keep it
Right.
completely separate. I go, I'm not a fan of that genre. I'm a fan of rap. Boom. Simple as that. People can find what they want to find, and it keeps it a more divisive um, industry.
Right.
I
I
mean,
agree.
even with that though, I just feel like there can be different sounds even on the same song. If you have a feature from a different artist and their
Mm-hmm.
you know and their flow is different, that plays into the sound of the whole entire song.
That is true because there's like some like let's say a melodic rapper that'll have like the baby as a feature. He's not a melodic rapper at all, and then that changes. Like I know he had like this one bad project, but he has a good way of making his flow fit into the song, even though it's different from yours. You could still distinguish between the two, and it's still good with the beat or whatever. But I feel like that's gonna change the genre of the entire song once you add
Well,
features
I
into
mean,
play and things like that.
Yeah, and
well, I mean, wait.
certain yeah, just certain songs that he's been on. Like
Mm,
um
Like I remember thinking about it. That's why when you first said it, like I was like, yeah, effects, because I remember thinking when I heard a song with him on it before that it was a completely different flow from the other rapper, but it still worked. Like it might have been like
yeah,
a Juice World song or something, but it was a
like
completely different artist with a different music style with him on it, and they both were on the same beat. They both hit the beat perfectly, but like in different ways. And I like the way it came together, and I feel like those songs are gonna be kind of an issue as well.
yeah, like
yeah,
just
I mean,
like Hot Shower and
Mm,
like both of them, his features on there were his sound, but
definitely.
everybody else on Hot Shower did not sound the same at all.
He didn't sound nothing like Made in Tile or Chance the Rapper because he doesn't rap like
Exactly,
them. And it would have
exactly.
been dumb for him to try to switch up the sound to fit theirs. It sounds right the way he did it, but then that makes the whole song like, is that song like a rap song now, or is that a pop? So like,
um,
it's kind of not necessarily that specific song, but like with songs like that, it makes it a little weird in my opinion.
I was gonna say, I mean, there have been rappers and R&B artists who collabed, and
Hmm.
I think that's why the term hip hop came to exist because you had more like rappers, like you'd have Jay-Z collabing with Alicia Keys. There are two totally different genres. Alicia Keys is R&B and pop, and that is a rapper. They come together, and they're taking elements of each of their respective genres, and that's how hip hop was pretty much born. Was artists in those two different calibers. You know, you get what was it? Is Ja Rule and Shanti do something together? I don't know. I'm
Yeah, they did
blanking.
a bunch of
Like,
songs together.
yeah,
Yeah,
A lot of
what
songs.
bunch of
they
songs
did a
together,
bunch of great
and
songs together.
yeah, and you got R&B, you got rap come together, boom, and like those two middle ground meeting is kind of how hip hop is formed. So that way, hip hop could be the now more blanket term of,
Hmm.
you know, just grouping them together. So then when you get, you know, your more rapping artists collabing with this new subgenre of rap itself come
Hmm.
together and they make a song, give them a genre, or just say this is hip hop and whatever their genre is. Like it can't function because it's already happened before,
Hmm.
you know.
I just
And
feel
it
like
like
people get rap mixed up with hip hop too often, and they
yeah,
should learn to distinguish the two, because like you said, like you can have like an R&B artist or a different type of artist on your song, and then that'll make that song hip hop, not necessarily just rap. Because if you have a singing hook on it, it's kind of hard to like say this is a rap song when I'm singing along to it. So it's I feel like people get the term hip hop and they think it's the same thing as rap, and it's not.
That's a fact.
But yeah. So like if y'all wanted to, we could do like another showdown with like two more artists, so we can move away from like the Drake and Jay-Z thing.
yeah,
Another one that we were going to talk about was obviously the one everyone's been talking about lately. It was the Kodak Black versus Youngboy Never Broke Again, and it was just like a who, like if you had to get rid of one, who and whose music, I believe it was, if you had to get rid of them and their music, like which one? And there was a lot of controversy over it based off their little beef they've been having. You know, their light little spat they had on the internet. So
yeah.
everybody's been comparing the two. So you know
Um,
everyone's thoughts on that, things like that.
I don't really got no take on it. I rock with both of them.
yeah. I don't listen to Youngboy that often, so like it would just be like a bit of a bias for me to just go, okay, you know what, I could live without Youngboy because Kodak has given me music that I enjoy, obviously, but I don't really see them as super comparable. I wouldn't say, but I don't know. Their beef was stupid, and the discussion about who would hurt who before the other, and then who had the better music when like they're I don't know. I kind of completely like stayed away from that topic.
Hmm.
It didn't
It seemed
add
so
anything
dumb.
to me. Yeah, like it wasn't gonna add anything to my life to talk about it, so I didn't want to. But I don't know. Like I don't know. If I listened to both respectively, I'd probably have an opinion. But since I already don't listen to Youngboy, and I listen to very few Kodak songs, but I've enjoyed every Kodak song that I've heard, I would naturally end up going back over Youngboy.
Personally, I don't really listen to either of them that much. They both have their songs that I like um, from like either either artist. Um, Personally, I would have to go with Kodak just because of the fact that I like more of his songs. Um, but yeah, other than that, I mean, I don't. My opinion doesn't. I feel like my opinion personally doesn't really matter that much because I don't really rock with either of them that much. Because start like realistically speaking, if both of them didn't exist, it wouldn't make that much of a difference to my life.
To your like
Um,
your music selection and things
yeah,
I,
like
I
that.
ain't gonna jack that. I ain't gonna jack that. I rock with both of them.
um,
So say something other than I rock with both of them, because I'm
Their
being more
music,
than just
their
I like them both.
bro, no play shit. That beef is gonna it's gonna get crazy because they both street niggas. You feel me? So like,
Can you? But like music wise, if you
oh
had to
nah,
pick one,
I can't pick one because they both like they both street like they both make music I can relate to.
well, personally, I'm not a huge fan of either one of them. Like everybody knows, like I'm a G Herbo fan, so a lot of the time people put him against Young Boy. But like it seems like naturally I go against him, but at the same time, like I listen to most of the music that comes out with like an open ear to see if it's a good song or not, like separate it from the person itself. So I can say that I've listened to some songs from both artists and felt positively about both artists. Like they both have a long list of songs that a lot of people like, but I feel like it would be leading more towards the Kodak side simply because he has like a wider range of people that listen to him. Like Youngboy, he has a really large following, especially recently because a lot of people nowadays, especially young people, respect him and feel like they can relate to him. But I feel like, especially like when Kodak was first coming out, like with songs like Roll in Peace or Lockjaw or all them songs he came out with early, like Skrilla, No Flocking. Like when No Flocking came out, everybody in the club, like to this day, if No Flocking comes on, like I saw that post, it was like first couple beats will come on, and literally any club in America, every person's gonna say every word of that song, or at least most of them. A lot of people know every word to the song No Flocking because it was a big song, and a lot of his early music was big. So I feel like it's big across a larger range of people, like more races, more people listen to Kodak's music. Now, lately he's been in jail, so it is a little hard to compare recent music. So that does make it a little hard to compare the two because Kodak has been locked up for a long time. Like, sure, they were locked up for periods, both, but like Kodak's always locked up, so it's kind of hard.
Youngboy is locked up too. So
Kodak
Yeah,
is
but
literally since he come out been locked up like four out of the like five, 4/5 of the time, hasn't he? Like most of the time he been out, he been locked up though.
you can say something about Youngboy because when Kodak goes to jail,
I,
Youngboy is
I
out. When
disagree. I feel like he went to jail a couple times. He ain't been to jail most of his career.
He been in jail because he's only been out for like 2 3 years. He's been in jail for a long time.
how long has he
How long
just
is a long time? How long was
like
he in jail? Because Youngboy been out since what was his first
Youngboy
song? 2016. Wasn't
7.
No Smoke? No Smoke
Oh
was in 2016, right? No
no,
Smoke Outside Today. That was in 2016.
no,
that was nah, definitely wasn't 2016.
that was like 2018.
Yeah.
Bruh,
He been
Youngboy
out
did not just come out last year.
in
Uh,
2017. He came out. He came out. I graduated high school. I know. I was the first thing to bump with him.
Okay, 2017.
And Kodak
All
came out
right,
in
cut it
16.
out.
And Kodak came out in 16. I'm telling you, I was the first niggas bumping them.
No, Kodak wasn't 16. Kodak's been making music, I
Kodak's
think,
been a long time. It's 15.
2014.
It's
Kodak
14,
was
15. Yeah,
2016.
because
Is
No
it?
nah, yeah.
Flocking
Oh,
was in 15. Because No Flocking was
Kodak,
in 15 by itself.
yeah, but he
yeah,
didn't
I
blow
thought that was
2016.
14. No,
I'm
no,
looking
no,
at I'm
no,
looking at
no.
Spotify. No Flocking was 2015. It was
It was
2015.
okay.
And he had
Uh,
Project Baby before 2015, and then it was Skirt. Like he had a bunch of back-to-backs 2015, 2016,
uh,
17.
yeah, I'm pretty sure as soon as No Flockin' drop, it blew up. Like,
Yeah, because everybody like singing along to it because it was one of them songs that was kind of easy to get the words. Once you get the words, it's
yeah,
like it was easy to follow along and know all the words to the song, and it was catchy, so it sounded good. So everybody felt in unison singing it, just like when Finito come on at the club or a different Chief Keef song or whatever. Everybody get hype and everybody start saying the words because we all know the words, and it was one of them easy songs to learn the words to. That was still hype. I just feel like people fucked with Kodak's song more when he first came out than like I just feel like it was a wider range of people.
Well, I also feel like Kodak was more mainstream than Youngboy. Like you
Hmm.
hear, I feel like you hear more of his songs on the radio.
Yeah, 100%. Like almost all his songs that blew up was on the radio, right? And then YoungBoy songs, most of them can't put on the radio because he curse a lot, or it's not good for radio play at all. But then he still gets those views at the same time, so then it's hard to like to compare the two because he gets a lot of his views from like streams and stuff since his music isn't really radio material a lot of the time, so it's kind of hard because he does make up for it in the numbers. So I don't know. I think I'd say Kodak, to be honest.
I feel like Youngboy's fan base is annoying.
I feel like
Just because of the
everybody's
fact,
fan base is annoying at this point.
I feel you on that.
I feel like Nicki's fan base is annoying, and I'm a part of it. I feel like Cardi's fan base is annoying. I feel like Herbo's fan base is annoying. I feel like Young. I feel like they're all annoying because it's like they compare every aspect of the person instead of just like comparing like their music. Like they compare the dumbest parts of the person to try to say why their artist is better. Like, why we can't actually compare musically one artist versus the other if you're gonna say one's a better artist. Like, the whole fan base thing takes away from the artist itself, I feel, because then it just makes drama off nothing, and it's not actually helping anything. Like, a lot of the dramas that these artists get in be because of their fan bases a lot of time. Like, the Beehive is ridiculous. Nicki Minaj's fan base causes some drama every couple months.
Yeah, I fuck with them. Fuck with them.
All right, since nobody really had that many opinions, like personal opinions on this one, we could do a different one. Let's do Lil Wayne versus Tupac. A lot of people were saying um, that Tupac's really overrated and that Lil Wayne was better than him, things like that. So just comparing the two and their lyricism, their music, if one had to go, who's better, stuff like that.
Um, I'm gonna say the same thing that I said with Jay-Z and um Jay-Z and Drake. It's a different time. We've grown up in a different time. I feel like it's hard to be that in that sense. Because personally, I'm gonna go Lil Wayne, but who's to say that if I grew up in the '90s, I wouldn't say fuck.
Right.
But then again, I listen to, I grew up listening to Lil Wayne.
But I feel like everybody grew up listening to Tupac though. But I feel like that's part of why he's overrated. Like, everybody listens to Tupac. Everybody knows Tupac because he's kind of like a martyr, kind of. Because like once he died, even more people started listening to him. So it just made him blow up that much more. So I feel like it's kind of hard to like compare the two because like a lot of Tupac's fame comes solely from everyone being like, oh, he's the greatest of all time now. He's gone. He's the greatest. We're gonna stamp it on him right now. And then that kind of takes away from like comparing the two without that whole statement of, oh, Tupac's the greatest, because people already believe that out the off rep, just thinking of the two.
That's a fact.
Mm, a great question to ask though. Would we be having the same conversation if he never died?
Exactly. Honestly, I've as personally, like, I listen to Tupac's music. Like, I fuck with Tupac and I fuck with Lil Wayne, but if you listen to their music, I feel like what if he was still alive, would he have put out like more songs that could compete well with Lil Wayne's discography? I'm sorry, I can't say the word, but I just feel like he didn't really match up. Like, I feel like Tupac had a lot of songs that was really good, really informational. They needed to be heard. Everybody needs to hear them songs. Like, he had a lot of good messages to put out there. He had some great music. I just feel like it's not better than what Lil Wayne has put forward.
Mhm.
Yeah. I would say, um, like like I think Luke was saying like this is another one of those conversations where it's two goats of two eras that can't even really be like put in the same category, especially given that we got to witness the rise and fall of Lil Wayne, which spanned over what I think a 20-year run. Um, yeah. Wayne's been active since like '96, and his run went on. I mean, even now he still releases music, but he's way past his prime. Obviously, he's not doing the same numbers that he would have did in like '07. Between like
Yeah, when he was in the
04 and
big
'07.
three and stuff.
Yeah, but like Tupac was on his rise before he died. Like, there's no definite way to say that he had a rise, peak, and fall. So it's really weird to compare the two. I mean, everybody used to do
Yeah,
Tupac and Biggie. You can do that.
because they kind of both died, but it's kind of hard to
Yeah.
see where Tupac would have been if he hadn't died. Would they compare
Right.
then? Because Tupac had some other great projects coming out that he had put a lot of work on. Like, some of his projects that he really wanted to put out there, like the actual project. You know, when artists first blow up, they put out a couple projects, but like the ones they actually want a message on. Like, he
Mhm.
had a couple of those coming out soon, like around the time he died as well. So it was kind of like we won't never know what else he could have put out to compare with the same amount of years we have under Lil Wayne's belt.
Yeah, we don't know what kind of features he would have been on,
Oh yeah, that
what
would have been
kind of
crazy.
singles he
Oh
would
my
have made
god. I
as
need a feature with Tupac
landscape.
now. That would be awesome. That's sad though. It kind of
Uh,
makes you sad to think about.
We absolutely do not know how he would have handled the scope and change of West Coast hip hop developing. Even though the Bay Area and LA pretty much produce all West Coast rappers entirely.
I feel like he would hate it. I
No,
feel
I
like
mean,
he would like stay with his same. I feel like he wouldn't have switched over to the new way that the Bay Area puts out music now. Like the way they do music is a little different now. I feel like the Bay Area sound leans more towards like Snoop Dogg versus Tupac. Like I don't think they really picked up his sound as
but
much.
but Tupac and Snoop were cool. So like
Mm-hmm.
and like they definitely like were cool with one another sound wise. It was that West Coast thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tupac would have definitely been absolutely cool with Kendrick. Like
Oh, definitely.
he would have been absolutely cool with Kendrick and everything TDE is doing. So that's Kendrick, that's Schoolboy Q, that's Isaiah Rashad,
Mm-hmm.
that's SZA, that's who else is on that label? That label's a powerhouse.
Yeah,
Like
powerhouse in the
like
West.
like he definitely would have been cool with what Nipsey was doing. Like even outside of music, he would have been cool with Nipsey. Um, blanking.
Definitely, they like resemble each other in some
I ain't
ways
gonna
too.
lie. Whoever Snoop Dogg is cool with, that's who probably Tupac would be cool with. It's kind of like the same person they go
You
through
said
life.
what?
I said
He said whoever.
whoever Snoop Dogg is cool with, Tupac probably be cool with the same person.
You got to say that one more time. Your
Whoever
mic is.
Snoop was
I said
cool with, Tupac could
whoever
probably be
Snoop
cool
Dogg is
with.
cool with right now, that's who probably Tupac would be cool with right now.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Cause they wrote,
Yep.
they did anything, it would be Death Row together. They had to roll together.
Yeah, they definitely did music with Dre and Death Row and them together, and they worked a lot together in the
You,
beginning too.
you guys know how Snoop Dogg does a stamp of approval.
Mm.
Yeah, you would have had to have gotten Tupac. So it would have been the same breath.
Yeah, it would have been like how I think it was like the rap game or something. One of the episodes they had like all the new rappers rapping in front of Snoop Dogg because that's what they do a lot of the time because he's like the judge. Like if you can get past him and he'd be like, yeah, this person's fired and you fired. So I feel like it
Yeah,
would be like a similar thing with him in music, like with things like that. They would go to him like, oh, you can be our guest judge because we need your opinion if this is a good artists or not, things like that. I feel like they'd be on a similar pedestal in music,
right.
the two of them.
Personally, I feel like just because of him being older though, would definitely have a different effect of him, being, you know, in his 20s and all of this, all the stuff. I mean, all the music that been coming out is happening. So I feel like that play a part in that too.
Yeah. Mm. Well,
Because I was like 20 years ago at this point, so it was over 20 years ago.
Okay, yeah,
So he
yeah,
would have been like seasoned, like almost middle aged adult at this point.
exactly.
yeah. So
Completely different than like the Tupac we all know.
yeah. Well, I think that's a good place to wrap it up. We basically we from the Spark the Air podcast do not believe that Wheezy and Tupac should be compared on better rappers. Two different sounds, two different eras. Both are goats in their own right, pioneers in the game, but one's legacy was cut short, and that's just how that is. So yeah. Closing thoughts. Any hopes for the future? Any music that you've had on
Song of
shuffle?
the week
Any
or whatever.
song of the week? Yeah. Is there anything? Um, I mean, I guess I can start. One of my friends makes music, goes by the name E Rock. He just shot me a text saying that he has an EP out under the name. Let me pull it up again. Yeah, he has an EP out under the name of I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to talk anymore. Sorry. It's on, I believe this is SoundCloud. So I'm gonna check that out, and then next time I will probably do a review. I'll send you guys and discuss that.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Um, Personally for me, this week I feel like um two songs that I have been in heavy rotation for me. Um, One being "Real Nigga" by Finesse the Artist. Um, it's funny, I found the song on the Rochester Trash Rappers page, and I just thought it was fire. So I've been bumping that a lot. And then also "On the Go" by Nasib of the EP too. I feel like those are the two songs this week that I've been bumping like a lot, like delivering stuff.
You got to say that one more time. Your mic was cutting in and out.
Uh-oh. The whole thing or just
At least the last part.
um. So the second song was "On the Go" by Nassim on the 57 EP too. Um, but both of those I feel like have been in heavy rotation for me this week. Uh, listening to while taking deliveries and stuff. In the shower in the morning. You know, so yeah, those are my two. Like,
Nice, nice. Jade, Bess, what are your songs of the week?
I got two. One was a Keep Man Crush Monday and Proceeds at Uso.
Say that a
I
little
said
bit louder, please.
Best we
so
can't
what?
hear you.
I said mine's is She Keeps Man Crush Monday and Prince CJ Ooh Shorty.
Ooh,
Nice,
shorty.
nice.
All
And Jade?
right. Honestly, I didn't listen to no new music this week. I feel like I have some, but I can't really think of anything. But I know that when Luke was talking, he mentioned like the Rochester Trash Rappers page. And I noticed like a lot of the time, if you follow that page, a lot of them songs don't necessarily be trash on there. Like there's some actual good songs on there. And then like it'd be some good artists on there. And then I also follow like the Rochester Best Rappers. Like, those pages, it'd be a good way to get in tune like with the town and see what people are putting out. Like some of them be comical, but at the same time, some of them are actually pretty good songs. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah. Support your local content creators. And like we said in our first episode, not all support has to be uh, positive, but don't tune out people that you know who are trying to get started. Give them even constructive criticism. Uh, like that is support. Hitting the share button is support. Hitting the like is support. But I promise you that constructive criticism is going to sit with them even longer as they're in the early stages of making content. Tell them your honest opinion. Tell them what you like, what you don't like, what they can improve on, stuff like that. And as creators, we got to listen to that constructive criticism. It's not hating. It's They're not tearing you down. They give you an honest reflection, interpretation, or honest opinion. You got to take it, and you got to learn how to work through it, and you got to learn how to continue to be true to yourself, but also, you know, how to jump through a couple hoops every now and then. So, you know, I just wanted to close out on that to give that back to the audience. Call that a callback to an old topic.
Preach,
But
preach.
yeah, it was great talking to you guys. Thank you all for listening to episode 4 of the Spark Your podcast. Tune in
Stay
next
at
time.
home.
Yeah, stay at home, wash your hands, brush your teeth, take a shower. You can go in your backyard and do yoga or something. Like you're allowed to be in your yard. You can go out and get
Yeah,
fresh air.
yeah. Like
Um,
you can go outside. Like don't deprive yourself of sunlight, but just don't go out and about around
yeah,
people when you're gonna come in contact with someone. Like I was in my
yeah,
yard once, and someone was like, "Go inside," and it's like it's not your yard in itself. It's like when you're gonna come in contact with it, it's kind of like iffy. So like, let's say you live around a lot of people, I wouldn't necessarily go outside. But if you have your own fenced off backyard, by all means.
and like if you have a car and you can drive to an empty park. Parks are going to be empty. Drive to an empty park. And if that park has one of the lapped racetrack type things, do some laps in that, because it's okay to still work out and be out in public to an extent, but don't be going to heavily closed in compact places and stuff like that. You only increase the chance of you getting it or spreading it. But yeah, but it's okay to get fresh air. Getting fresh air is healthy for you. Drink water, eat fruits and vegetables. Pretty sure there's a lot of grocery stores that do delivery services, or they will do your shopping for you and then bring your stuff to your car. Please take advantage of that as well.
Yeah, just take advantage of Instacart.
Yeah, Instacart.
Great,
Yeah.
great service. I've definitely been delivering to a lot of people, who are well, I mean, everybody's at risk, but I've definitely been delivering to a lot of older people who might have health problems and stuff like that. And I feel good inside knowing that I'm trying making a difference in what I'm doing. With that and with the meal distribution and stuff at the rec center.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, so this is just a great way of making sure we all stay as courteous to those of us that's around, So yeah, that's pretty much how we're gonna close it out on a more serious, relaxing note. Thank you all once again. Peace.
Peace.
And I was taught to hold it down until I come up. I'm working in the studio, perfecting till the sun up. I do this for my family and the people that ain't show love. I hope y'all gon' remember this, I'm grinding till I come up.